ENT, Animated City, Day. Welcome to the intricate world of a clinical data city, a place where the bustling growth and vibrant expansion perfectly mirror the evolving needs of the expanding pharmaceutical company's data infrastructure. In the heart of the city, where population density is at its peak, the need for high standards and meticulous order is similar to the apartments in a skyscraper. Just as these apartments are standardized and optimized to accommodate as many residents as possible, the data in a pharmaceutical company needs to be managed, governed, and cataloged to ensure it is accurate, reliable, and compliant with regulations. The closer we get to the submission, the higher the need for alignment and compliance with agreed standards. As we explore the edges of our city, we see a world that embraces more flexibility and variability. This part of the city is dominated by low single-family houses with gardens and a lot of difference in both usage, look, and fee. There is still a substantial harmonization, and all houses have both electricity, running water, and a sewer system that works every day. The roads are also closely connected to main traffic connections to logistics work flawlessly. This mirrors the early stages of clinical testing, where innovation and exploration are paramount, and the focus on standardization is lower. Here, the clinical development organization, together with researchers, dive into the yet unknown, seeking new knowledge and discoveries. However, the need for a certain degree of standardization cannot be ignored, as it ensures the gathered data is organized, accessible, and ultimately useful for future endeavors. In the rural areas, our infrastructure takes a further step back, paralleling the research and early discovery in a pharmaceutical company. In these activities, there are fewer standards and more flexibility as researchers work to understand the potential of a new drug. However, the support from the infrastructure is limited, and the need for meticulous data tracking and governance becomes even more crucial. In this part, we find ourselves in a world with very limited infrastructure. This is the realm of complete freedom and no standards, much like the very early stages of research in a pharmaceutical company. Here, researchers have the liberty to explore new ideas and concepts without the constraints of standards or regulations. But let's consider an example. Imagine a hen or a deer that is captured, slaughtered in this part of the land. In this environment, one could simply trade a few hens for the deer. However, to increase the value of these goods, they can also be moved toward the city center. But for this to happen, they would need to be controlled by a vet, packaged, labeled, and further refined. To increase their value in the city, these goods must be standardized and cataloged. The hen need to be properly labeled and packaged, while the deer also need to be processed and converted to items that can be sold in the supermarket. This process increases their value, but also requires harmonization to meet the standards of the city center. Similarly, as data moves from the wildlands of research through the clinical supplies and development stages, and finally to the submission for approval, there is a need for data lineage, governance, and cataloging. This ensures that the data is accurate, reliable, and compliant with the necessary regulations. Ultimately, the goal is to strike the perfect balance between the rigorous standards of the city center and the innovative freedom of the wildlands. This balance is the key to a successful pharmaceutical development process, from the initial spark of an idea in research, through the meticulous clinical trials, and finally to the moment of triumph when a new drug is approved and ready to benefit humanity.